because you'll see. So they're giving us all these centres. They're showing us from the equator up to the landmass centre, Giza. Then the centre, again, of the D column, 576 times 576 equals the 3,317,760 metres. Or 4 million megalithic yards, because 0.2, right, it's 4 million of those. This is all from Howard. This column of D stuff is from me, but it's neither here nor there. Let's just give the humanity what they deserve to have and have always been there, and we're remembering. Remembrance shrines. This will all become very important later on. Maybe in a year or two for people that will go down this rabbit hole. From here, I'm sure this will inspire some. Get on with it, Dane. Let's get on with it. So now we're going to take, still in the column of D, we're going to take 9 hertz, the first D, the first D there is, and take 9216, another D, D11. So D1 and D11, times those together, and you get the megalithic yard, or E11. So D1 and D11 equals E11, right, the 11th E. And it's also the megalithic yard, as we just discussed. So then we divide that by this, by 9216 divided by 9 equals C, but it's the 11th C, 1024. So let's draw a circle now with the circumference of 9 and the radius is 1.43. Then we draw a circle, right, because we've used these to get the megalithic yard. This is D, this is also metres. We've seen over here 9 times this. This has given us the distance from the King's Chamber to the equator. So we'll now take a circumference of 9216, and the radius is 1466. We add those two radii together, the two that gave us megalithic yards. This is the D column that gives us the measurement to the equator from the King's Chamber. Now we add these radii. We get 1609. Now we know that's the kilometre, mile. 1 mile equals 1609. 1.609. So isn't it curious that they say there's no linkage between the metric and the imperial system? And yet we can see over here, before we discovered this, a few months back we discovered, oh look, the column of D gives us this 3,317,760. This is all derived from a musical column, right? And we go from the top to from the bottom, we move our way into the middle. Once we get to the middle, we get this. And this is all about the middle, the Earth middle, the landmass middle, the D column middle. Now this was all very amazing. But now we've got this. And this is not the last way. This is the first. I'm showing you like how it all sort of unfolded. Because after this is something even more beautiful than this way. So we can see we've got 1609, all from column of D. Again, drawing circles. What did we find in the ancient world? A lot of circles. We won't name them. We all know the famous circles. So amazing. But let's go to the next one. Now, before I forget, there's a thing called philosophical pitch and scientific pitch, and it was introduced by a Frenchman, and Ryan pulled it up in our interview. I think it was Joseph, or anyway, in 1600 and something, they brought in this idea of the scientific pitch. Now it's C, it's middle C at 256 hertz, right? So, but it's, of course, haven't adopted it today, and it really never was really adopted as a standard. But it's derived from the tonic of 1 hertz. So 1 hertz, then 2 hertz, then double, 4, and it goes up to 256 hertz. So derived from the 1, which is the 1. Just keep all these things in your mind. But 36, as we know already, 36 here times 9216 equals the King's Chamber to the equator. So what we've done is we've got that King's Chamber to the equator with that, but now we've divided it. 9216 divided by 36. We get the C, philosophical C, or philosophical pitch, or scientific pitch. This is C. But what happens if we draw a circle with the radius? The radius. So if we draw a circle with the radius of 256, we get the circumference of 1609. So what have we got here? We've got King's Chamber to the equator, and we've used the D column to get there, all the way, from the top to the bottom, moving to the centre. Centre, all centres. Centre, 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 mies, the pole. Key, the word key means to enclose, encircle, a branch, a pole, and a stake. Key. It's K-E-Y or Q-U-A-Y. Göbekli Tepe. Enclosure, encircled. It's a key. The Vatican from the air. It looks exactly like a key in a lock, doesn't it? You have a look for yourselves. All these things were shown to us our whole lives, but we didn't know how to quite read it. But now we're getting there. So there's... See how you guys feel about this, but I don't think feelings... I think that because of all the musical, you know, the quadrivium, the astronomy, geometry, harmony and arithmetic, they're all one system. They don't act alone apart from each other. They are just one unified system. So they must all talk to each other and back each other up, so to speak. And they do. The 630 millimeter string length and all this stuff here with the circle that we'll show you today. And the crescendo's coming. So hang in there. This is setting it all up. Before I forget, we've got to quickly show that when the radius is 256 C, and the circumference is 1609. Right? Amazing. So then we also realise that when we take the radius of 528, everyone knows that number in the spiritual world, don't we? It was the heart chakra stuff and solfeggio. Go and see Stephanie McPeak-Peterson's new book about solfeggio and the truth about this number. But what I'm showing you today here is that when we take a radius of 528, the circumference is 3,317,760. So as you can see, that all these measures and musical things are metrology. It is metrology. John Neal and John Michel and many others all know that this is connected to music, and it's very musical, these numbers, these harmonic numbers, 4, 3, 2 and all these things. But there was, like I quoted John earlier, there's still the missing link.